Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video of ours. Today we're going to take you through a little spine mobility / strengthening routine. So this is a basic movement or routine that we're going through today, and there will also be an advanced version of this. So today you can choose to do one or more you can choose to do 1 round or 2 rounds or 3 rounds. We will go through 1 round and then you can repeat as often as you like.
So guys, we will start with the follow along routine. As she already said, this is a beginner starter routine to groove into spinal mobility. For this little follow along routine, we need a pillow or a cushion here and a little rubber. This can also be a pen or a small obstacle, right, that you just feel when you lay on it, right? So great, let's start with the first exercise. These are spinal waves. The first exercise is a thoracic or thoracic spine cars. We use the pillow to get a little bit more tension and to get our scapulas out of the way and really creating more tension here. We go for 2 rounds in each direction. As she already said, you can then, after 1 full round, you can then decide to do 1 more round or 2 more rounds. That's up to you. So let's start. Take a deep breath in before you go for the first repetition. Start with a straight spine and then flex the spine. So think of a rounded back, flex the spine as hard as you can. So only the thoracic spine here, that's very important. Then rotate to the side. Rotate as much as you can without compensating. Tilt to the side, so think about the side bend here. Then open up, thinking about pushing the chest to the ceiling. Really grip that hard here. Push your thoracic out. Then rotate back, side bend. Again, then rotate in. Really hold the tension. Full flexion here of the thoracic spine and back. This was 1 rep. 1 rep back. Yes, from the front. Rotate, side bend, open up. Think of pushing the chest to the ceiling again. Side bending again as much as you can without shifting the hips here. Rotate in and fully flexed. Beautiful. Last repetition here. Open up, thoracic spine. This core is straight here. She's not extending in her lumbar back. And flexed. And 1 more time back. So that's the 4th rep here. Glutes are squeezed. Keep the tension in your core. Rotate in and fully flexed. So this is a pretty complex movement. It looks easier than it really is. Trust me, the thoracic spine cars are hard and really complicated to understand, especially to only think of moving this part of your body without your lumbar spine. There is some tiny little bit lumbar spine movement involved, of course, but focus on having that core really, really tight and engaged. And 4 repetitions here. Second exercise are the spinal hovers. You need the rubber or a small obstacle for some feedback. So we're gonna do this in a prone position here and start placing the rubber right here on the top of your sternum, right where your throat starts.
But you want to feel it.
Yeah, you should feel it. When you don't feel it here, place it in the middle of your chest as the first point. We do 4 points here, so 4 feedback points. So she's placed her arms right here. Take a deep breath before you start. And lift right from that spot off where you have the feedback. So lift off, hover over the obstacle, the rubber, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, and then control it down. So don't do a segmentation, so first cervical spine, like she does now, and then hover over. Hover straight from that point. Maybe it's hard to understand, but she demonstrated 1 more rep now. Hover, hold it 2 to 3 seconds over the obstacle and do one more rep. Great. Yeah, do one more. So it's clear. Hover over. So there. So she is not touching the rubber. Perfect. And all the way back. So her whole spine, this segment, moves up and down instead of vertebrae for vertebrae. Next point, upper abdominal area or lower chest. This is the second point here. Really feel the rubber, and from here, take a deep breath again and hover right from that point. So this is a lot harder now. 2, 1, and slowly down. Beautiful. Do one more rep. Take a deep breath and hover. 3, 2, 1, and of course, have your core and your glutes engaged. You want to do one more? Yes. And take a deep breath. 2, 1, and slowly back down. Let's take one more point. So place it a little bit lower. Where are you now?
Between my belly button and...
Okay. So middle abdominal area, not right on the belly button, just slightly above the belly button. So that's the third point.
Under the rib cage.
Under the rib cage. Perfect. Let's do 2 to 3 reps here again. Take a deep breath, engage your glutes, and up. Try to hover over the obstacle. It's very hard now. 1, and slowly lower down. Take a deep breath again when you feel ready for the second rep. And come on, up. 1, and down. Awesome. One more rep here. Come on, up. And down. Awesome. We want to do one more. So the fourth point here, right on the belly button.
This will be the hardest.
This will be the hardest. Of course, if you are not able to hover over it, it's still fine. Just feel it and move right from that feedback point where the rubber is. Take a deep breath in. Engage your glutes. And try to fight hovering from that obstacle. Right, perfect. Hold it. 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Of course, this is also hard to find stability. Your feet will most likely lift off, but that's no problem as long as you have fully engaged body. Come on, lift up. Second rep. 2, 1, and down. One more repetition, one last one. Let's do it. And up. Come on, 2, 1, and down. Awesome. Great job, guys. This is really hard, especially if you do it the first time, but it's very good exercise to get a better mind-muscle connection, better body awareness, where to engage the muscles. Yeah. So you hover right from that spot. So hover right over that spot.
And for the American watching, this is also called an eraser.
Great. Great side note. So third exercise are some spinal waves. We're gonna do some spinal waves. Of course, there are a lot of different variations of spinal waves out there, but we choose 2. Best case, you can do it in a kneeling position or in a seated position on a chair. We demonstrated here in a kneeling position. That's totally fine. Okay, good setup. Okay, so for these spinal waves variation, we first try to think of moving the whole spine here. So just demonstrate the first variation. Also the cervical spine here. Really make sure in this position you have a fully flexed spine. Also try to engage your PPT, so glutes engaged, suck your belly button in, push your thoracic spine out, and then in full extension with helping and putting the arms behind you, you push the thoracic spine out more here. Fully flexed position and open up again. Beautiful. So we're gonna do this variation for, let's say 5 reps. Yeah?
That's what we say.
Yes. So let's do 5 repetitions here. And let's start. Take a deep breath in. Starting fully flexed. Everything is flexed, PPT. Then open up, push your thoracic chest out, anterior pelvic tilt here. Beautiful. Feel your spine opening up and closing. Try to get a better body awareness for the whole spine, so not only your thoracic spine, but also your lumbar spine, your pelvis area, your cervical spine, going from extension to flexion. Awesome. Beautiful. So 5 good and clean reps. Second variation, the same stuff, but now we focus more on the thoracic spine, as now we are not moving the cervical spine. So think of having a really still head and only opening up the arms and closing the arms while keeping the head, so the cervical spine, completely straight. So of course there is some pelvis and some lumbar action here, but without the cervical spine now. This is a lot harder. Keep the head still. Open up your thoracic spine as much as you can. And the parts below. But keep the same pattern. Beautiful. Nice. Great to see that from here. Hope you see it as well as I do. Looks good. Try to keep your head still, keep the whole body under tension while you're doing this second variation of the spinal waves. Good. Hope you enjoyed the first part. Now it's my time to move my spine.
Okay, so next up we will be in a tabletop position. So you just demonstrate it real quick. And the goal for this one is obviously we're also using our shoulders here, shoulder extension and scapula. But the goal is while you're pushing yourself up, you want to make sure to really extend through the thoracic spine. And if you want to, you can even hyperextend like your lumbar spine. If you want to focus on the thoracic spine, keep a PPT. And then you can focus more on the on the thoracic spine, which is usually a weak point for most people.
Yes.
Okay, so we go for 5 repetitions, slow and controlled. So deep breath in and then push, try to push the chest out and slowly lower back down. And again, he's keeping a PPT, focusing on thoracic. You can do that as well, or try to get the full spine or the whole spine into extension. Nice. So when you go for the PPT, then you engage your glutes while pushing up. Push with the chest out towards the ceiling. Slowly lower down. One more.
Yes.
Yeah, and the last one. Nice. And down again. Great. Next up, we're going into, in yoga, it's called a downward facing dog. So we'll do something similar like that, going into a pike position. And then from here, so he's having his heels to the ground or on the ground. If your flexibility doesn't allow that, it's no problem at all. Our goal here, or your goal here, is to now diagonally rotate your spine. So you go with, he's going with his right arm, trying to touch his left ankle or shin. And instead of just using the momentum, you're actually trying to use the rotational strength you have, and that also includes like your core muscles, to get into rotation. Okay, so 5 reps on each side.
Yes, let's do it.
Do it. Okay, slow and controlled. Try to rotate, feel the rotation. Slowly come back. Other side. Keep the other arm straight and your legs as straight as possible. So even if you're not able to keep your heels on the ground, come onto your toes, but try to keep your legs as straight as possible to not make it easier for your spine, okay? Nice. Rep number 3. Feel the rotation and try to rotate a little bit more each rep. Nice. And then when you have hold of your ankle, you can try to pull yourself just a little bit deeper. Nice. And the last one on each side. And last rotation. Beautiful. And come back into seated. What we're now going to do, our final exercise or final movement, is called a thoracic pop, also a T-pop. And it's a very small movement. And it's a tiny movement, but it's very hard, especially if you're not used to using your thoracic spine. So imagine breathing in and breathing out, and you see how when he's breathing in and out, his chest moves. Exactly. Breathe out, and then breathe in, and breathe out again. So that inhale, when you see the chest popping, that's exactly what you want. That's the T-pop or thoracic pop. But now I'm going to ask him to not use his breath to get that thoracic pop. Okay, so I want him to be able to get that pop without using his breath. And also without going into like extension, basically, or using your scapula, your shoulders, to get that thoracic pop. Okay, so it's really just a small movement, and you try to use your thoracic spine instead of your shoulder or scapula.
Yeah.
So if you're new to this and if you have trouble to get the pop without the breath, then use the breath. So go for 5 breaths and use that one and try to get better over time. If you feel comfortable doing it without the breath, then do it without the breath. And then you can choose your own tempo, but 5 repetitions in total. Okay?
Yes.
So let's do this. You're gonna do it without the breath?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now let's go. Now pop. Yeah. Really make sure you're not using your scapula or your shoulder, so don't try to reach them back, but just get the pop with the thoracic spine. 5. Nice. You can even go for 10. This seems like easy to do. When you're using the breath, it will take you a little bit longer. Yeah. So this is basically the basic spine routine.
Yes.
There are a lot of spinal things you can do, like spinal segmentation, other forms of CARs, but we just wanted to make sure that we incorporate most of the movements the spine has into this basic routine. We didn't do lateral flexion in this one. We'll make sure to target that in our advanced movement or like spine video. I hope you enjoyed it. As we said in the beginning, you can do another round of this if you want to, and leave us your feedback in the comment section below, and we'll be happy to be answering your questions if you have any. So thanks for watching. See you next time.